So today we're gonna build this flagpole. One big problem, we've never built a flagpole in our life, and so what are we gonna do? We're gonna use ChatGPT to engineer and design this flagpole so that hopefully when we have bigger winds than today, it doesn't fall over. Every once in a while on the channel, we'll stray from the norm and we'll do something that you don't expect, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today. I was just sitting outside on some lawn chairs the other day looking around, and I thought, you know what? If we're gonna build a flagpole, we should probably build the biggest one. We need a big one. Sorry, big one. Big flagpole. Or maybe it's like this, big flagpole. It's just posts and holes. We got this, man. We quickly typed into ChatGPT how to build a 100-foot flagpole, came up with a plan, and we're gonna do that right here. We used to have a flagpole, and this was our original flagpole. This used to be our office trailer, and now it's just a rental for us. And this one was only a 25-foot. And so I started looking around town at all the flags that are here. If you look right over here, past that crane and past those trees, we can just see the flag that is sitting on top of that hill. And when you get ready to do a flagpole, you start looking around and you're like, okay, what's everybody else got? And one of the biggest ones is right down at the end of our road, right behind us. And for a while here, this is probably the biggest flagpole in town. Now this is an all aluminum flagpole, and you can see the concrete base that they've got for it. And I'm gonna guess this is probably 12 inches, and then it tapers down as you go up, and we've got 3 sections. But this is a pretty nice flagpole here in town, and I thought, well, that's pretty good, but somebody built one even bigger. This flagpole is 75 feet tall, and it's flying a 15 by 20 flag. And that kind of gave me the idea and the courage to think, you know what, if they could do that, we have the talent in our shop, I think we could do the same thing. But again, we can do better. So when I told the shop guys we're gonna build one of the biggest flags in town, they're like, why don't we build one taller than the water tower? Now that's about 136 feet, we're told. And so we figured if we built a 140-foot flagpole, that would be really cool. One big problem. When I consulted my friend ChatGPT, it seemed a little daunting. So we decided and we settled on building a 100-foot flagpole, which will be the tallest flagpole, beating out the Silver Creek Midstream flagpole by a whopping 25 feet. And our flag will be much larger. A flagpole to beat that is going to have about 50 to 60 yards of concrete at the bottom of it, and it's gonna have a hole that's about 18 feet deep. You know what? We'll start small, and if this works out good, maybe we'll go for the state record next. Wouldn't it be cool if everybody could see this flag no matter where you're at in Powell from all the way around us? And that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a flagpole that is the tallest one in Northeast Wyoming with the biggest flag on it, and we're gonna design it for 110-mile-an-hour winds. Can you see it? Can you see it with me just right here? You're looking all around and you just see this giant American flag. See, we're gonna test ChatGPT and see if it can do it. What I did when we decided we wanted to do this is I figured I would test ChatGPT's engineering ability. And so we basically put the criteria in there, said we want to build a flagpole that's 100 feet tall. We want to fly this size flag. Here's what we think the wind load calculations need to be. ChatGPT has really helped us figure all this stuff out. ChatGPT literally helped us design this entire thing. So every time we made a change because we couldn't find the right pipe or something, we said, okay, this is the change we're making. It literally spelled everything out. And we had multiple conversations. I feel confident. How confident do you feel in its ability to tell us the right things to do?
I think we're good.
It's definitely smarter than I was. I mean, we're just counting on it holding up. I can't tell you how freaking excited I am about this. This is probably one of the funnest projects that I've ever decided to undertake. Now this is a little scale model of me, and I'm standing next to a replica of our shop. The shop is 60 by 100 feet, and we've decided that we would like to have a flagpole here. And that gives you some idea of how big this is. You can kind of get an idea of the scale when you tip this thing down, and now we have a 100-foot flagpole. And we're gonna do an 8 by 8 cube of concrete in the base to give us the structural stability that we need. But there is me next to our flagpole. Needless to say, I'm just a little bit excited to see how this turns out.
Sorry, thunder. I love thunder. We definitely don't want to have pipes sticking out of the building anymore though. Zap. We are having to sleeve at each joint. The joints are being sleeved down from one size of pipe to the next size of pipe. We'll start with a 16-inch diameter pipe that is 30 feet long. This is a 12 3/4 inch. It's going to sleeve 4 feet into the 16-inch diameter pipe. And so these sleeves right here are what we're doing to try and bridge that gap to make it structurally sound. We were just measuring. The way he did it was really cool.
Basic framing squares. Inside measurements start at 1 on the inside edge. So you're on the widest part. Pinch it in so it's tight. And we should be about 15 and a 16th on our OD of the pipe.
If you don't have calipers or you don't have large micrometers, we still have a way to get enough of a measurement that we'll know whether or not it's going to sleeve into each other. So specifically for this project, we built that jib crane that he's sliding into now so that we had a way to move these long sections of pipe. Unfortunately, once we weld the sections of pipe together, we won't be able to move it until the crane comes to stand it. They are so long, and overall the flagpole is going to end up weighing somewhere in the realm of 7,500 pounds. So not something we can pick up with our cute little Nissan.
So this is actually what it was telling us how to do our flange base. 36-inch diameter, 2-inch flange with bolt pattern being 30 inches. Everything that we made a change on, we rechecked it with ChatGPT and it came up the wind load calculations and was able to help us out with that. So
when the flange was finally done at production, we made sure that the flange itself could slip over the 16-inch pipe. This flange is 2 inches up on the pipe. We then welded out the entire inside bottom and ground it smooth so that this face stays smooth between the two flanges. Then on this side, we put 6 3/4-inch gussets that are 12 inches tall by 8 inches long, which is going to provide more stability out in the bolt pattern. These welds are being done with a E71 T11, which is a flux core wire, very hot. Excellent penetration, as well as a very beautiful weld.
And it is 100 feet tall, right?
Oh yeah.
We didn't go 110?
No.
We should have.
It was a massive difference in the concrete.
Yeah, it was like 3 truckloads of concrete to like 1 or 1.5.
It makes a huge difference being that little bit higher.
So this pipe here is 12-inch pipe, and we had to make a 12-inch pipe fit inside of a 16-inch, so we had to step it down, which means we had to put all these other pipes on the outside of it to get it shimmed out far enough so that this could go down inside our 16-inch pipe. And that takes 4 different sleeves, and all these sleeves are welded on both ends so that it's completely solid. Theoretically, they will all slip together. Theoretically. But you know how that goes. How are we gonna fly this flag? How are we gonna get that thing up there?
We're using a winch.
Because they wanted a whole bunch of money for some like hand crank, and we're like, hey, you know what? Harbor Freight has 12,000 pound winches, and I figure that can probably raise that flag.
That, and I didn't want to crank 100 feet worth of cable on a drum that big around. So like Mark said, we bought ourselves a Harbor Freight winch. That winch is gonna go in this box. We bought a buyer's toolbox. We've mounted a trickle charger solar panel to the top, also from Harbor Freight. I'm gonna cut a hole in the back of the toolbox that allows the winch cable to go through the back of the box. Where the cable comes out the back will then go into a pulley system that shoots it up the center of the flagpole, making us have an internal halyard flagpole.
Now this is the exciting part when we start to see whether or not the whole plan is going to come together, because this is the part I was worried about from day one, is making sure all this stuff fits together snugly enough, but not so snug that we can't get it together. This is flat steel that we've basically heated up and wrapped around there and then welded to get the right size. So we got that much inside the pipe, and then they'll weld all this stuff up and build that weld up nice and tight, but we need to get it into there about another ½ an inch. Now, one of the things that we ran into is the flanges were not machined perfectly.
Thankfully, they're on the correct diameter, but the distance between each bolt hole varies from 6 inches to 6 1/4. So we have about plus or minus 1/4 inch of play, which isn't super great. So we have to marry them up, make sure that they match across so that all the bolts are gonna work.
It's got to be clocked a certain way or nothing will fit and we'll have a train wreck.
Correct. This scribe here is ground in with the grinder so that it can't come off. And that's our alignment scribe, and that will not only allow us to clock the flanges to each other, but also clock the entire flagpole in the direction we want it to face so that the box for the winch is facing the way we want it to face.
I know the flag you got is a 20 by 30, but I was in Florida and the 30 by 50s just look really good. And I've seen them flown on a 100-foot flagpole, so I want to do that.
Just for reference sake, this door is 14 feet tall, correct?
Yeah,
So our door is 14 feet tall, which means that our current flag
20 by 30?
That's 20 by 30 is 6 feet taller than the door.
Or 4 feet taller than the shop. So it's 4 feet taller, and from that wall over to about the middle of this door here.
And that's our current flag. A 30 by 50 will be nearly twice the height of the shop.
And it
Width.
would go all the way over to about, from there, all the way over to probably about here.
Yeah,
That seems appropriate.
I like it.
That seems appropriate. We need to do that. We can't have this thing up there, have a really tall pole and have this underwhelming flag on it. I'm telling you, it's gotta be like the holy crap, what is that over there and what are these fools doing? That's what we're going for.
Perfect. I'll go order it now.
Okay. Now I'm not without contribution. My job here is to get that hole in the ground and I think we should go get started on that. So let's go dig a hole. Is using the exact same principle we line our posts up with. If I hold this up here like this, it'll act as a plumb bob and then all I have to do is sight this in with the sides of the building and we'll know that it's parallel with the building. We put it here behind, this is a bathroom slash well house. Put it behind this because, you know, if it decides to fall that way, because that way is east and all the wind comes either from the west or the north here, it falls on that and it would give me a reason to rebuild this piece of crap. If it falls that way, there's nothing that way. If it falls that way, there's nothing that way. And we're so far away from the other house up here that I never have to worry about that. So there's really nothing it's gonna hurt if we have any problems. However, I don't think we will, because we have amazing people that work here. And because of these amazing people that bring all these talents, if I was gonna say the real secret to our success here at SWI is definitely the people we hired. So really, if you're a business person and you're wondering how you can take your business to the next level, good freaking people is what you need. And the way you get good people is you treat them right and you pay them well. So shout out to my guys and gals, because we have plenty of gals as well.
All right, so they are building and stuffing the flagpole together, and I got a couple questions. Adam, down there you have a level and a laser. What is that doing?
Yeah, it's actually off. So we've actually been rolling this around quite a bit. So it's gonna be off a little bit right now, but after we get the pipe stuffed in, we'll re-level everything back out. But basically what I do is I level out this pipe to 0. I turn on my little laser, 1.25 inches. So that laser sits up 1.25 inches from off the pipe. So, and theoretically, that pipe out there to be level with this pipe on the tape measure should be 3.25. And we are what?
3.25.
3.25. So basically this pipe is concentric with the pipe down there or level with that pipe down there. We tack it on the top about 1 inch on the top, we tack about 1 inch on the bottom, we rotate this pipe 90 degrees, and then we do the process once again.
And right now you guys are sucking it together. And how much is getting stuffed in?
Roughly we got that much pipe already stuffed. We got like 32 inches of pipe already stuffed inside there.
Okay, so I'm gonna help you.
Yep, go ahead. You ready? Oops, got back his head. Look at that, we're 12 inches to go.
And it's not getting hard at all for you, right?
No, is it getting hard for you?
No, not at all.
All right, hold on a second. Hopefully. Are you out of breath?
No. I ran here.
Oh, that's right.
You probably don't even need these. I could probably just go down there and push on it and slide it right in. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and hop in the forklift here. We're gonna go ahead and pick up the section that we already sucked together and they just welded, and we're gonna start setting up for the next piece to get sucked together.
It'll work. It'll work. It'll work.
I'm kind of thinking that we need more power. Yeah, I think we're gonna go bigger. I think we're gonna go to this one. They never let me drive this before. Oh, it's got a horn.
I don't like the pipe stands. I would probably trim this on the ground. That's just me. I like my toes.
Straighten her out a little bit.
So right now we have a really perfect cannon. I mean, we're gonna shoot bowling balls out of this thing. They're just gonna go
This is pumpkin
straight to Canada.
It's the world's largest pumpkin chunker. The question is now, what do we need for grounding? Because as Nicholas has pointed out, this is almost a certified lightning rod. For our 100-foot flagpole, what is appropriate grounding? Use 2 copper-clad ground rods, 5-inch diameter by 10 feet long. We decided we're gonna do 4 because if 2 is good, 4 is better.
Good.
The reason we're adding rebar, especially at the top and the bottom, because as this thing flexes, we got all that leverage at the very top of this pole. What could happen is the concrete could crack. So having this rebar in here that's tied is structurally making it sound all the way around that pipe so that it can't break out. It could crack anywhere around here, but as that wind's pushing this way, it could crack right down the side of the pipe, right in the middle of the pipe. And if that happens, the rebar's in there to hold everything together. So even if it does crack, it doesn't separate. And that's what the rebar does. And that's why you put rebar in your slabs and everywhere else. It's just to help keep the concrete together if it does crack and even help prevent it from cracking. Oh, it's my finger. Just kidding.
Just cruising around here, just going like 90 miles an hour. That's what he does. He's the opposite of like Sid the Sloth. Bugs Bunny, there we go, turtle in the hair. Not saying I'm like a turtle, but he's definitely there. So making some concrete forms, and one thing, so before he rudely interrupted what I was saying, making concrete forms, one thing you want to do.
Are you leaving some of these long, I hope?
Yeah.
So we'll span the whole hole. Yeah, I would not cut 2 of them so we can span the hole and tie it off that way.
It's all right. Let me get this done before the concrete truck comes. Uh-oh.
Is he ready to pour or what?
Very tedious.
So we're trying to figure out how much concrete we need. It's not a perfect hole. So we're gonna add an extra 1.5 yards. It's probably not too bad because what's an extra $180 when we've already spent thousands of dollars? So that's what we'll do. Well, we're not pulling this way yet. We got to get floating on this or we're going to have problems.
We'll be fine.
We are rushing to get this creamed up and all the edges finished so we can bowl float this and try and get it all level. And you hear that? That's wind. This is not good. Especially a freaking 5,000 PSI concrete with high early. That was a big rush to try and get to this point, and it looks like it worked, but I'm wore out. Yes, there were challenges. So the big thing is there's a lot of concrete and it's pushing the post all over, so we just kind of got it pretty close. We have more than enough concrete. This thing's not going anywhere. We used 5,000 PSI 7-sack with high early. And the reason we did that is because today it is Thursday and Monday is Memorial Day. And if you're gonna put up a big flagpole, it doesn't really make sense to wait and stand it on Tuesday. So we're gonna stand it on Saturday. We had to pay extra to get a crane company out of Moreland to stand this thing on Saturday. But right now I'm more out and I'm gonna go inside. We'll pick this up tomorrow.
Right on the edge of crispy. So what we're doing is we're just heating up the condo, running it to the corners. This is gonna be for the lights that shine up to the flag.
I'm digging a trench, my absolute favorite thing to do ever. It's really easy on your back. It's very enjoyable. It's very, very soothing. Yeah, this is it. This is where life is for me. It's very important that we properly ground this, and ChatGPT told us to properly ground our light poles, so that's what we're doing.
So we are gonna go for the Rhino driver to drive our ground rods, because guess what? You can do that. Make these handy dandy little adapters, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna stuff these up in there. It's gonna receive our ground rod really nice. We're gonna put our giant rubber nut back on, and then we're gonna take it to Pound Town. So this is a number 4 bare copper, and this is what we're using to go from ground rod to create our grid, basically.
You don't necessarily have to, but ChatGPT said it was an extra step, and what we're trying to do is go one above whatever it requires, like the minimum requirement, because hey, we're not professionals. In case there's any mistakes or errors on our part or ChatGPT's part, we want to try and make sure that this thing's as safe as possible. So wherever possible, we've over-engineered it, even for what ChatGPT's told us is okay. And just tying all these rods together just as an extra precaution to help lower resistance. Now, the other thing, I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, we talked about whether or not we could just run the bare copper in here, but it said that the concrete adds resistance, and so it recommended using insulated wire so that you're not putting the wire directly buried into the concrete. Concrete adds tons of resistance, I guess, and that's not a good thing. So that's why we've used this type of wire, a stranded insulated wire, to get to our ground rods, and then we can use the copper wire from ground rod to loop them all together. I wonder if we should tie that grounding into the panel. I'm not sure if that should go to this panel since we're so close to this, or if that's ill-advised. Hang on, please hold. We should absolutely run a ground wire to the building and into that panel. So there we have it.
I just thought of something. The office called, said they had a problem and they needed Mark's help. It seems like this always happens right when the shovel comes out. I don't know what the deal is.
If you think this flag's amazing, we've been doing some other amazing things, and what we want to do is we want to celebrate some of the milestones that our company's going through right now. Because you have made our channel amazing, We've now crossed 100,000 subscribers. Actually, that happened quite a while ago, and what we want to do is we want to celebrate that with you. So to all the people that watch our channel, we invite you out to Powell, Wyoming on the 17th, the 18th, the 19th to come and celebrate with us and celebrate some of these milestones. Not only did we hit 100,000 subscribers and have the most watched YouTube channel for fencing related content on the internet, but we're getting ready to franchise. So if you've thought about franchising and you want to start your own fence company, now would be a great time to come out and see us and see what we're all about. We're gonna have tons of great activities. On Thursday, we're gonna do a little bit of training, but we don't want this to be about training. We want this to be about celebration and fun. So on Friday, we're gonna have a kickoff band. Right out here, we're gonna have some fire pits. We're gonna have networking. You can just meet and greet us. Alan will be here, Dan will be here, I'll be here, and the Mr. Fence, Sean King himself will be here with all of his tools. It's a great opportunity to come out and visit us. And then on Saturday, we're gonna have a pancake breakfast in the morning, a golf scramble. You can tour all of our facilities that are here. You can tour our shop here in Powell. You can go over to Cody, you can tour that. You can buy product while you're here, whatever you need to do. But then in the evening, we got some really special stuff lined out because we're gonna have another band. And then at sunset, we're gonna have fireworks right behind the camera over here. And you're gonna have a front row seat to all that. Now, if you're not a fence contractor, we don't care. If you're just a member of the town of Powell and you happen to see this video, everybody's welcome to this event. The only thing we ask you to do is if you want to be here, please register for all of the events because there is a cost associated with this. We can't do this for free, unfortunately. And if you want to sponsor this event because you're a vendor, we're looking for sponsors to help us facilitate this and demonstrating some of your tools, your equipment, or the products you have for the fence industry. We encourage you to get a hold of us right now because there are sponsorships available, and that's a great time for you guys to get in front of a whole bunch of people that need your products. Again, this is all about celebration. We're gonna have a little bit of training, lots of demonstration, lots of fun, great networking. It's all about celebrating all the things that you guys have done for SWI and as we move forward into the future with our fence franchise. So come out and see us 17th, 18th, 19th, and the 20th of July, and we'd love to have you. Now we don't care if this is plumb because when this concrete's a little harder, what we'll do is we'll just flex this and hopefully not break off the corner. If you're wondering what these posts are for, these are for the 400-watt light bulbs that we purchased, or the LED lights that we purchased to shine upwards at the flag. I think ChatGPT said maybe 2 or 3, and I'm like, again, if 2 or 3 is good, 4 is better, and we've got 4 corners, it just makes sense.
Have you looked at the flagpole? At the straightness of the flagpole?
What are you looking at? Well, all these stands, because after about this joint here, these last couple have a lot of flex in them because of the way it is. They have leveled this thing out and had it dialed in before they ever pieced it together. You're gonna have to trust me. They were using a digital level and getting it to like plus or minus a thousandth of a degree. They had all the calculations so that they could put a digital laser level on that and go all the way down here. And this is flex, and this is what's gonna happen in the air, but it's more because it's grooved into the jack stands. We could flex this thing over and it'd be straight just in a heartbeat. Trust me, it's straight, but we've been messing with it and it's not, all the stands aren't right. And these things will flex. It's not supposed to be straight up and down all the time. As the wind blows, it's gonna flex. And it's kind of like trees. They need a little bit of sway to be strong because if it's too rigid, it's weak. Skyscrapers will sway. They need a little bit of sway. Too much is bad, but it needs a little bit of flexibility, and that's what this has. So I'm not worried about this, not even in the least. So we have a little more painting to do because you can see that this is 2 coats and we probably need a 3rd. So I'm gonna work on that the rest of this afternoon because tomorrow morning we fly this thing. And that's gonna be a circus in and of itself, and hopefully it all pans out. Oh my gosh, today is the day. We're gonna actually stand this thing up. We think we have a pretty good game plan. We're gonna try this thing out. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna basically pull it off the stands, swing it right over here a little bit closer to the hole, and then orient, because we gotta make sure those holes are clocked exactly right or they won't align. But man, I couldn't be more excited about this. Just everybody's excited about this project. It's Saturday morning at 8 o'clock and we poured that concrete, started pouring at noon on Thursday. So we don't have a whole lot of cure time, but again, we've consulted our expert ChatGPT and it's told us we should be fine, just don't put a flag on it just yet. But we should be able to raise our 20 by 30 flag on Monday, and that's the goal. Having this thing up by Monday and not missing it by a day and having the crane show up on Tuesday was just a big deal to us. I couldn't be more excited about this. Let's do this. Let's do it. Oh, and did I mention that one of the guys that's working here, Nicholas Madsen, our head shop foreman that designed all this thing, he's having to show up here on a Saturday and is willing to do so, even though he just had a little baby girl like 2.5 days ago. So shout out to him and his family and little baby Delilah. Okay, what are we gonna do?
So the crane will pick this side, telehandler, we'll pick it up, make sure he's good.
Okay.
Then we'll slowly just walk it over close to my outrigger. We'll get it over here. You guys can paint it and whatnot. We'll re-rig,
Yep.
obviously, and then we'll pick her up.
So these are the guys that showed up on a Saturday on a holiday weekend to help us out. So huge shout out to you guys for making this happen for Memorial Day and swing trucking out of Worland, Wyoming.
Yes, sir.
My freaking heroes of the day.
Thanks.
Hang on. There was one more big problem that we forgot to tell you about, and it's that stupid little silver thing at the top of this. We ordered one several weeks ago from a company I don't know where in a different freaking state, and they said it was supposed to be here Friday. So we're counting down the time, and they said we'd have tracking, never provided tracking. So he called on Thursday and said, "Where's my tracking?" I said, "We'll call you right back because we're not sure if it's actually shipped and going to be here on Friday or if it will ship on Friday." And we're like, that's a huge problem, huge freaking problem. Because without that little spinny thing at the top, I don't know what they call that, but we need it. That's where the cable goes through and everything. It's a huge deal. If we wouldn't have had that, we couldn't do this today. So Nicholas called around yesterday, and in all places, Laurel, Montana, just like freaking 70 miles north of us, had one. I said, just get the dang thing and we'll make sure that this video happens because it's Memorial Day and we gotta get this thing done. We almost didn't get this thing happening, but having that shipped, it showed up on Friday, and that other company never called us back and we never got that part. So if we hadn't have done that, it was in Laurel, Montana. This is so badass. This is freaking one of the coolest things I've ever done, just because I've never done it. And we did it. And that thing's hanging off that crane and everything's working perfectly. I love it when things go well. We gotta turn that thing so that this plate will go straight out this way.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. These two marks should line up. Yep, help line it. Okay, so there's been a lot of speculation about how much this thing weighs. I said it weighed between 65 and 67 according to ChatGPT when we did our calculations. And the crane operator here just told us that it weighed in at exactly 6,900 pounds. That's pretty close. I mean, I was off by 400 pounds. They're gonna get them as snug as they can with their fingers, and then we'll come in with our torque wrench here and we added it to 24 to 2,500 dry. So I got this 1/2 inch torque, which I'm kidding. We won't even be able to come close to that with this thing. So we're gonna use a hammer wrench that, thank goodness, I had a friend in town that works in an oil field and he got us a hammer wrench. And ChatGPT actually told me exactly how to get to as close to torque spec as we can by hitting it. So the process is do a star pattern, get it kind of snug, 3 good hits or so per bolt all the way around, then go back around, snug them up again, and then go back around and you just beat it, you just beat the living heck out of it for about 20 hits, and you have the same person do it with the same sledge all the way around. So Nicholas is gonna be wore out here in just a minute. But that's what you do to try and get it as close as possible without an actual torque wrench, which we don't have.
Absolutely. It's gonna turn out pretty sweet.
Man, I just still can't thank you enough, Clinton, for coming out here and doing this on a Saturday on a holiday weekend. That's
Projects like this, you know, you're doing a little part for America to
Yeah.
display it, so it's
I
pretty
feel, I
sweet.
feel like America today.
Yeah.
Pretty big. Pretty big.
Man, there it is in all its glory, and I can't wait to fly the flag. I cannot freaking wait to fly the flag on that thing. It's gonna be amazing. I'm half tempted to do it today when we get the winch set up. Okay, Nick says no. Nick's shaking his head. Don't do it, don't do it. Just be patient, Mark, be patient.
Like we discussed before with the bolt holes not being perfectly concentric around,
were worried that some of them might not line up. But with the crane here and with excellent operators, they were able to just swing this so that it was loosely floating above the other flange, and every one of these bolts dropped in like it was meant to.
Yeah, I expected a little bit of a fight trying to fight the weight and then get it tipped on there just right and wiggling around, and
It went fantastic.
we did it. It almost didn't happen. All because of the little spinny thing at the top almost didn't happen, but we did it. We pulled it together. We got this thing installed by Memorial Day, which was the absolute goal. I couldn't think of a better holiday to have this thing erected by, and it looks beautiful. We've got a good breeze today, and what we've learned is it takes about 10 miles an hour to fly this thing. But if you get a 10-mile-an-hour wind, it is just glorious, and that's exactly what we wanted. Overall, we've got about 20, 25-mile-an-hour winds now, and it's holding up beautifully. We're not even rocking a little bit. This thing's amazing. ChatGPT absolutely came in clutch, got the whole job done, and I have no fears that I'm gonna get crushed when I stand outside with it in the wind. We'll put it through the test though, because it did say that we could fly this flag in 110-mile-an-hour winds. Now the big one, we're only good to about 60, but the small one, 110, no problem. There's something we never told you about this flag, and that is that it has special meaning to us. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. And I'd like to read something that I wrote just that kind of explains and encapsulates everything that this flagpole means to our company. In the heart of Powell, Wyoming, something extraordinary now reaches 100 feet into the sky. It's a statement, it's a story, a legacy. SWI proudly announces the completion of the Harshman-Blackmer Memorial Flagpole, a towering symbol of resilience, unity, and healing. Built not by contractors or corporations, but the hands of welders, builders, and teammates who poured their hearts into it. This flagpole stands as a testament to what a small team with a big heart can create when driven by purpose. This wasn't just another project, it was a mission. For years, our founders had dreamed of building something like this, not buying it, because there's something sacred in the process, in the welding, the grinding, the bolting, and turning raw steel into something that carries meaning. And it almost didn't happen in time. We were determined to raise this flagpole by Saturday morning for Memorial Day weekend. That goal meant everything to us. It was personal. But just a day before the deadline, we discovered we were missing a critical part for the top of the flagpole. And that part is the part that allows the flag to rotate and spin without getting all snagged up on itself. The kind of part you don't just find at a local hardware store. The thing that would keep the entire structure from being complete. We started calling everywhere, desperately searching for a replacement. Most places didn't carry it at all, but then we called a company, of all places, in Laurel, Montana, just north of us. They said it was highly unlikely that they'd have one because it's not a part that they typically stocked. But she checked her inventory, and magically enough, they had exactly what we needed right in stock, only 75 minutes to the north of us. It had been ordered by another customer weeks ago for a project, and they backed out on it and didn't keep it. And it was exactly what we needed. There was one. Just one. Somebody had ordered it long ago and never picked it up, and it had been sitting around waiting, unnoticed, like it was meant for this moment. The right part, the right place, the right time. To us, it wasn't luck. It was the universe coming together in quiet alignment to make something special happen. This flagpole is more than a structure. It's a mirror of a personal healing journey. Over the 3 weeks, it became a symbol of rebuilding from the inside out, of becoming strong enough to be a benefit to others, and it became a reflection of our team, who came together not just to raise a pole, but to raise each other. That sense of unity became even more meaningful in the wake of tragedy. This flagpole is named in honor of the Harshman and Blackmer families whose lives were forever changed by a heartbreaking event. We dedicate this structure not just in memory of those who we lost, but in recognition of how our team rallied behind Cliff Harshman, one of our teammates, during the most difficult season of his life. The same way we rallied to raise this flagpole, we stood by him. This isn't just a company milestone, it's a town landmark, a reminder that little people in small places can do big things, that resilience matters, that healing is possible, that unity still lives in places like Powell, Wyoming. This pole is painted red, our company's signature color, and a symbol of the passion and pride which we bring to everything we build. It will fly 2 flags with meaning. On ordinary days, it flies Steady Honor, a 20 by 30 flag that represents quiet strength and daily commitment. On holidays and national days of remembrance, it flies Big Honor, a massive 30 by 50 flag that commands attention and respect. We invite all to come and see it, to look up, to reflect, to remember, to believe what's possible when people come together. The Harshman-Blackmer Memorial Flagpole now stands tall in Powell, a symbol of what we've been through, what we've built, and who we are.